blue-collar New York. Transit workers are the backbone of New York's working communities. We work here and we live here. There are hundreds of transit workers in every neighborhood across New York City. Take a look around. This is what Local 100 looks like. Brothers and sisters, there is no doubt that America needs a jolt. New York needs a jolt. Working families need a jolt. And business as usual politics are not going to give us the jolt that we need. Yesterday was Equal Pay Day for equal work for women. Across America, women earn 79 cents of a dollar as compared to American men. In TWU Local 100, equal pay is not a question. TWU Local 100 women earn exactly the same rate of pay as TWU men. They have the same exact overtime and promotional opportunities. Why? It's not an accident. It's because TWU women have a solid trade union contract behind them. The best way to break down pay disparity for women is to grow the trade union movement in America. And that will not happen with business as usual politics, but it will happen with Bernie Sanders as the president. So today, I'm here to proudly say that New York City transit workers and TWU Local 100 stand with Bernie Sanders for President of the United States. Brothers and sisters, I give you Bernie Sanders.
I am honored. I am grateful to have the support of this fantastic union. Thank you so much. And John said everything that I believe. And that is at a time when our middle class is disappearing, when we are seeing almost all new income and wealth going to the top 1%, when we have the most unequal distribution of wealth and income of almost any major country on earth, John is right. It is too late for the same old establishment politics. We've got to stand together, take on the big money interests, and make it clear that our government works for all of us, not just the 1%. And when we talk about the needs of this country, yes, together we're going to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour so that nobody who works 40 hours lives in poverty. Yes, we are going to fight to do exactly what your union has done and bring pay equity for women workers all over this country who now get paid 79 cents on the dollar. Yes, together we are going to end these disastrous trade agreements that have cost us millions of good-paying jobs. And by the way, have led toward a race to the bottom, where corporations say, you don't want to take a cut in your health care or your wages, we're going to China. We're going to create trade policies that work for American workers, not just the CEOs of large corporations. And yes, as John pointed out, we all know in this room that you don't have a great and growing middle class unless you have a great and growing trade union movement. And it is no secret that there have been fierce attacks against the trade union movement for the last number of decades. And in fact, you can argue that it is the trade unions of today that are the last lines of defense against a vicious corporate agenda that is working hard to destroy the middle class. And that is why I believe that we need legislation that makes it easier for workers to join unions, not harder. And we have introduced legislation. It's pretty simple. It says that if you are in a bargaining unit and 50% of the workers in that unit, plus one, sign a card saying they want to belong to a union, they get a union. And if the employer refuses to negotiate a first contract in a timely manner, that employer will be heavily penalized. And then we come to the issue of the work that the people in this room do. It is no secret to anybody in America, whether you're in the state of Vermont or whether you're in New York City, that our infrastructure is crumbling.
Right.
And that means not just our roads, which are crumbling, not just our bridges. I was in Flint, Michigan several months ago, and what I saw there was unspeakable in terms of a water system poisoning its children. But it's not just water systems, it's wastewater plants. But it is levees, it is dams, but it is also mass transportation in our rail system. That is why I have introduced legislation and will implement, as president, a $1 trillion investment to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure. We need the best mass transportation system in the world. It is essential to our economy. Millions of people in this city depend on a high-quality mass transportation system to get them to work. That's what the economy depends upon. But let me also say this is not just a major economic issue, which it certainly is. I'll tell you what it is also. I'm a member of the U.S. Senate Committee on the Environment. And anyone who tells you that climate change is not real, is not caused by human activity, is not already causing devastating harm to this planet is lying to you.
Right.
That's the simple truth. We have a moral responsibility to make sure that we leave this planet in a way that is healthy and habitable for our kids and future generations. And one way we do that is to radically transform our transportation system all over this country. We need great mass transit systems. We need a great rail system. We've got to invest in those systems. And when we rebuild our crumbling infrastructure, by the way, when we rebuild our crumbling infrastructure, we create 13 million good-paying jobs. Now, I've been criticized by people who say, well, you know, Bernie, $1 trillion, even in Washington, that's a lot of money. How are you going to pay for that? Let me tell you exactly how we will pay for that. We're going to end the outrageous loophole that allows large multinational corporations to put their money into the Cayman Islands and in other tax havens so that at the end of a given year, after making billions of dollars in profit, they do not pay one nickel in a given year in federal taxes. We end that loophole, that's $100 billion a year that we put right in to our infrastructure. So I think it makes a lot more sense for this country to rebuild our transit system, our rail systems, our infrastructure, than to give large profitable corporations massive amounts of tax breaks. So after I leave here, and I want to again thank you from the bottom of my heart, I believe we're going to win here in New York City. We're going to win here in New York State. Some of you may know we have won 7 out of the last 8 caucuses and primaries. We started this campaign 50, 60 points behind Hillary Clinton. In the last few weeks, there have been 2 national polls having us ahead. So we're on a roll, and your support today is enormously important to taking us a step further. Now, interestingly enough, just to tell you what's going on in America today, where's Larry Cohen? Some of you may know Larry. Larry is the former head of the communications workers of America. Larry, as soon as we leave here, we're going right over to a picket line with the CWA. The against the greed of Verizon, who wants to take away health care benefits, wants to outsource jobs after making billions of profits. That's the kind of corporate greed together we're going to take on. TWU, thank you so much.